constitutionnel du Mali, Monsieur le représentant du gouverneur de la région du centre, Monsieur
the representative of the government delegate to the Yaoundé City Council, the representative of ILO, the executive secretary of WAPES, the directors general, I would like to let you know that we have the Director General of the National Employment Fund of Mali is here. He came with the minister. The representative of consular chambers, representative of tripartite syndicates, that's workers, employers, here represented, the board chair of National Employment Fund. I would like to salute the presence of Madame Florence, who is here with us, who is working to support our association. Mr. Minister, please, I would like us to give the employment pool a hand. Distinguished guests, it is with great pleasure that I take the floor on the official opening ceremony of the World Association of Public Employment Services and the celebration of the 20 years of the African Association of Public Employment Services. As the President said it a while ago, our association is 20 years, and 20 years is a journey. It's stages in which we need to retrospect and draw lessons, make forecasts, and strengthen the dynamics of partnership. This is equally the essence of the celebration of the 20 years since it was born here, but the officialization was made in Burkina Faso. So may I, from the outset, thank the Minister of Employment and Vocational Training of Mali, who, despite his busy schedule, decided to be here to magnify the interest that the government of Mali has in the African Association of Public Employment Services, which will be presided by Mali over the next 3 years, and the theme that brings us here within this conference, professional migration, youth employment. Today the challenges are rife, and we know our various PES know the challenges faced, and we will see how to bring adequate solutions in the long-term and short-term periods. And for the next 3 days, we will be able to have solutions, recommendations, so that every PES at the level of every African association would implement and own it for the well-being of our job seekers and even job providers. Mr. Minister, ladies and gentlemen, some statistics were given a while ago, but I'd like to recall that at the level of many countries, issues of youth are very important issues. What can we say when we have unemployment that hits the youth harder than the adults? According to the ILO, there is 40% youth unemployment, the juvenile age range. What more can we say when we know that at the level of unemployed population, 75 million are youth? That's to tell you how serious this issue is. It's to tell you the challenges we face as PES of African Association of Public Employment Services. At this level, according to the ILO, it was realized that these countries that know a growth in active population where there is a highest level of unemployment, and in that vein, Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, occupies a place of choice. So this is to tell you that we have challenges to face, and as you know, our respective employment labor markets are dropping because of economic and financial crisis, but because of the fact that there is serious contradiction between the competence of our youth who come to the labor market and the demands of employers. It is up to us to sensitize these potential employers to show interest in recruiting the youth who go to the labor market, who don't have required qualification but who can be accompanied. That is also the role of our PES through our employment policies, and will work within WAPES. Mr. Minister, in March, we validated a 3-year plan of the African Association of Public Employment Services, and we intend to lay emphasis on the promotion of youth employment and sensitization on issues of migration and employability of the youth, and as well as insertion in entrepreneurship. Mr. Minister, ladies and gentlemen, it is within this framework that the National Agency for Employment of Mali, in collaboration with the National Employment Fund of Cameroon, organized with the support of the Executive Secretary of the African Association of Public Employment Services on the theme Employment and Youth, What Challenges for PES. The joint organization of this event by the two public services, that's that of Cameroon and Mali, is in line with the strategy, the long-term strategy 2018-2025 of the World Association of Public Employment Services, based on cooperation between various PES and experience sharing and best practices in every area of public employment services. This co-organization is a strong expression of the excellent relationships of friendship between Mali and Cameroon from the independence of our countries. It should be reminded, ladies and gentlemen, that between the Cameroonians and Malians is an old story of law and solidarity since 1965 by the fathers of independence of our two states, whom I would like you to clap for. That is why, at the end of the executive workshop of the Executive Association that was held in Geneva, in which the transfer of the activity from Mali to Cameroon, Yaoundé, all members were unanimous on this. Not being able to participate due to forces beyond his control, the Director General of the National Employment Fund of Cameroon, Honorary President of WAPES, Mr. Mute Abidjas, did not hesitate to respond favorably to Mali and WAPES to host this event. And after receiving the support of the authorities of Cameroon, hence our presence here, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, the African Association of Public Employment Services, created in 1998 in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso, is the revelation of the public employment services of sub-Saharan Africa. The initiative was taken here in Yaoundé, as the Honorary President said, and is a manifest expression of the will and determination of leaders of public employment services, members of WAPES, to strengthen cooperation and to work together for the efficient implementation of their Regalian missions, that is employment promotion and the fight against poverty. It is within this framework that WAPES decided to give a new impetus to cooperation between the various PES of countries through study trips, experience exchange, the organization of at least 2 regional or inter-regional workshops per year, training sessions for capacity building of member SPEs, thanks to a partnership with international organizations like the ILO, the Regional Center for Labor and Administration, CRADAT, amongst others. Mr. Minister, ladies and gentlemen, today, after his 20 years of experience, the African Association of Public Employment Services has grown and has 20 members with the recent admission of Mozambique. From 6 members, please, can you give a hand? May I therefore seize this opportunity to wish a very warm welcome from our Mozambican counterpart to the WAPES family. This adhesion is proof that our family is growing, and we are encouraged to have a more to be more open, so that other countries will join us for more common pooling of our resources and serve our respective states and our clients, especially those who are still in the labor market waiting to be recruited. It is in this light that during the Bamako meeting on the 5th of March 2019, the Regional Bureau of WAPES focused on reinforcing cooperation between member PES and that of other 5 geographical regions that WAPES counts, because apart from Francophone Africa, we want to encourage Anglophone Africa as well to join. Cooperation geared towards experience sharing and best practices, and especially on the improvement of human resources to face the several demands of the labor markets which I just talked about, including the digitalization of services, climate change that has equally led to unemployment of youth, economic empowerment of women, employability of the youth, the consolidation of existing jobs through reconversion, amongst others. You know that the youth population today is a target group of our PES. They are either unemployed or in precarious situations. So it's up to us to face these challenges, to review the strategic thrust in our various policies, such that reconversion should be one of the responsive to the requirements of the availability of the job markets, and self-employment as well should be an important factor, so that those who are self-employed should be real engines and create jobs for others. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why I am pleased to salute the clairvoyance and the historical work that our founding fathers started. May each one of them find our gratitude. We of this generation, we hope that that know-how and would inspire our everyday activities in order to live our dreams in time and in space. Amongst the founding fathers of WAPES, one who appears today as the icon of WAPES, Kami Mute Abujas, Director General of National Employment Fund of Cameroon. Thank you. Mr. Minister, ladies and gentlemen, the next event that gathers us here is youth, is the theme of our workshop. This conference would enable African and international experts unemployment issues, leaders of public employment services, national and international institutions involved with employment and migration, business owners, and various guests to discuss around a theme and find solutions. During these 3 days of the conference, the central theme will be developed through sub-themes such as the issue of unemployment in Africa, especially in a context of globalization, its major stakes and how these stakes can be faced by African countries. There will be a sub-theme like the regulatory framework of the labor market in Africa. Professional mobility is equally a challenge that is part of our work. So there are equally other sub-themes. The influence of migration on the national employment markets, because as the president said it, there is inter and intra-African migration and there is international migration that is creating havoc when it is not legal. At the National Agency for Employment, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, I would like to share with you, with the support of the European Union, we have validated the procedure manual for professional migration. These are components that should be followed by a migrant, a worker, a job seeker, or a job provider who wants to have labor in Africa, in the African space, and work following the necessary steps. So today is very available and we'll gladly share with you some copies. So ladies and gentlemen, experts here will give us best practices and give us shared experiences of the organizations on the theme with more acuity in relation to the world. There are close relationships with migration and security and within the boundaries of our country and abroad. This conference is the logical follow-up of that of Abidjan that was held in 2007, where we talked of green employment. We saw how we could develop best practices in green employment. Many other meetings were held during this over the last decade, and this is all to the credit of the honorary president. So before rounding off, ladies and gentlemen, I would like us to give a round of applause for employment represented by Madam Florence. Please, can you rise so we can see you? We are honored and privileged to have you. You know, the honorary president, Mr. Minister, for employment pool has been part of our partners. So we are very grateful towards the employment pool, and I'd like to magnify them here. Thank you very much, Employment Pool. Ladies and gentlemen, issues of employability of African youth is a major challenge to the world, and the youth is the most sensitive class of the population. And it is in keeping with trying to bring credible solutions that PES is trying to put in place government policies to pull their efforts together within WAPES to find solutions to this issue of clandestine migration. That is why we have as project to set up a database that could enable job seekers of Mali to apply for jobs made available by the National Employment Fund and work maybe in Congo. This is one of the projects in WAPES, and we believe in it, and it could be an alternative solution of synergy and even of pooling our makes us to put everything at work to draw the lessons and bring necessary solutions for the dynamics that govern our PES. So on that score, I would like to welcome each participant a good working session and wish a happy anniversary to AMSEP. Thank you.